Okay, what's up everybody, WrestleK here, and we're back out again to play some more Sam and Max. They stole Max's, or Sam and Max, the Devil's Playhouse. So, we got to see what happened to the the grandfathers, and found out how they died. And pretty much after Max was actually watching it, Sam came in and then got upset, and then found out that someone snuck in and took out Max and took his brain. So now we gotta find out who stole his brain. So this is episode 3, they stole Max's brain. Little buddy, what have they done to you? Someone snatched Max's brain and gunning for control of its bizarre psychic powers, and now Sam is rolling up his sleeves, smacking heads and throwing slugs. Whatever it takes to get back what's rightfully Max. So let's go for it.
Thanks to our magnificent brains, most of us live out our lives under the delusion that we are in control. But are our brains truly in control? Makes you think, doesn't it? Engrossed in the thrilling cinematic exploits of their ancestors, the freelance police have had no time to ponder these eternally vexing questions. But in mere moments, they and you will be plunged headfirst into these murky philosophical depths when Sam returns from his ill-timed bathroom break to discover they stole Max's brain.
Max? Little buddy? No, 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 no! No!
What happened?
Hey! What happened to Max? Talk!
We don't know! 1 second we were guarding the devil's toy box, then BAM! Out went the lights!
Through a fog of rage, darkness, and raisinets, I tried to remember what Flint Paper told me about interrogating suspects.
Rule number one, don't let the suspect control the conversation. Get him talking, then surprise him. Interrupt him with a question, or call him a liar, freak him out. And if all else fails, bring little Miss Persuasion out for a stroll.
Actually, I think it was more of a boom, really.
Really? Because I distinctly heard it more like a bam.
Anyway, someone knocked us out with a booming and/or bamming sound, and,
Well, that's the last thing we remember until you woke us up and started snarling at us.
yeah, that's the last thing we remember.
Rule number 2, timing is everything. When you hear the suspect lying, that's when you jump in and accuse him.
Yep, I was totally unconscious the whole time. I certainly didn't see anything interesting, no sir.
Liar!
All right. I came to before Jebediah, just in time to hear the telltale sounds of a brain being removed from a bunny.
Obadiah, why didn't you do anything?
I was afraid. Afraid that he'd remove my brain, too.
Who? Who took Max's brain?
It was the space gorilla.
Skunk Ape.
Of course. He must have been released from the penal zone when the toy box was stolen.
I'm so sorry.
Not half as sorry as that brain-stealing space ape's gonna be when I catch up with him.
Rule number 3, mole men are easy. To crack the tough nuts, you'll need information to prove your case. Sometimes you gotta ask around to get the dirt on the doers. Now, go get 'em.
I wrote a mental note to thank Flint at Max's funeral and got ready to squeeze some punks. General Skunk Ape. I should have known. That space ape had wanted Max's brain ever since he found out it was special. Now that special brain was gone, and I was cut loose, drifting in the neon current, hoping for a lucky break. Hello, ugly. You're one of Skunk Ape's goons. Where's your boss? What did he do to my little buddy?
I don't know. I haven't seen General Skunk Ape since you unjustly imprisoned him in the penal zone. I'll never forget his final terrified howl as it echoed across the dimensional boundaries. Are you trying to threaten me with that?
Maybe.
You are aware that my ultra-dense space gorilla hide renders me impervious to your puny Earth bullets, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Where were we?
Since Skunk Ape's imprisonment, I've been re-evaluating my life choices. I've abandoned violence for a career as a science spinner. It's a very fulfilling, low-temperature job, more suited to a spin.
You lie!
No, it's true! I've abandoned a life of violence and conquest for an honest, peaceful job as a sign spinner. See?
Ah, yes. So, where were we?
But enough about me. You should talk to the rat. Yes, the rat. He certainly seems plugged into the ins and outs of this gloriously...
Rat? What rat?
Frankie the rat. He traffics in stolen merchandise and tawdry gambling rings.
Where can I find him?
He hangs out on the corner of Vinny and Vidi in the Latin Quarter.
Frankie the Rat. The name left a bad taste on my tongue and an itchy sensation in my boxers. Still, there wasn't a rodent more plugged into the bad wiring in the city. Hey, Rat.
Sam, buddy, how's it hanging?
My partner's got a bad case of a missing brain, and someone thinks you might know something about it.
Brain, huh? Well, I did see something unusual and brain-related a little while back. Spill! I was given directions to a confused tourist. Poor fella was wandering around in circles, scaring all the kiddies with his umlauts and tvortisnacks and whatnot.
What happened next?
I was almost done helping the guy, see? When bam! All of a sudden, this space ape comes barreling down the street, fighting with some other mook. A space ape carrying a brain!
Skunk ape.
I hadn't seen anything that weird since Aunt Jacqueline's vacation slides from Pismo Beach, with the jellyfish on the water skis.
You lying, dirty rat!
No, really, it was a space ape and some dweeb in a goofy hat. Anyway, so I grabbed the tourist, and we ducked behind a bunch of crates with the other gorilla. We kept our heads down until the fight moved on down the street. And that's all I know about the space ape what took your buddy's brain. No fooling. That's all I know. I don't know no more.
Other gorilla? What other gorilla?
Believe it or not, it was another space ape. He was spinning a sign for some pet store, the poor schlub.
So the dirty punk sign spinner did see Skunk Ape.
So now what?
One more time. What do you know about my partner's brain?
It's like I was poor fella was wandering around in square. Hey, take it easy, big fella. I sent him right over that way, about 2 miles.
Frankie the Rat helping a tourist? It was absurd. Absurd like Max was, back when he had a brain. So imagine my surprise when I found Frankie's tourist wandering around the bad side of town.
Sheesh.
Oh! Ah!
You, foreign guy, what's your story?
Ooh, an American police shakedown! How thrilling!
Yeah, it's a real honor. Now, what do you know?
Well, about an hour ago, I was getting directions to the museum district from one of your colorful local rats.
And Frankie sent you here?
Yeah.
Dirty lion rat.
You know, back in Europe, I had so many warnings about your country's rats, but this Frankie was so gracious and helpful. Anyhow,
Hurry it up.
I was about to give him a tip for the help when all of a sudden a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg erupted in the middle of one of your asphalt fjords. At least I think it was a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg. Might have been more of an Ödeler Spuckenfreundl affair, but I digress.
A hard rain's coming, pal. And when it comes, you're gonna wish you were only in a Weltraumliebwachsauberkrieg.
Your grimness is depressing, but something must be getting lost in a translation. So, as I was saying, after the fight moved on, I discovered that someone had picked my pockets, leaving me empty-handed and ipple-skippled in a strange land. I left the scene of the crime, carrying nothing but the clothes on my back. And you know what else? I'm starting to think the museum district. Maybe I am mistaken. It's a common European word that describes the feeling of mild disorientation combined with nagging doubts about a rat. Honestly, what do they teach you Americans in your schools?
Video poker!
So, what else would you like to know?
Let's hear your sad...
Very well. But you know, back in Europe, I had so many warnings about your country's rats, but this Frankie was so gracious and helpful.
You lie!
You're right, it was more like 57 minutes ago. Yeah, but you American police are stinklers. Anyhow, I was about to give him a tip for the help when all of a sudden a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg erupted in the middle of one of your asphalt fjords. At least I think it was a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg. Might have been more of an Ödeler...
Liar!
Nein, nee, it really was a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg. But more like a kleine Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg. But anyway, after the fight moved on, I discovered that someone... You know what else? I'm starting to think that this isn't actually... Is that one of your famous American handguns? Fascinating. We don't have any of these in Europe, you know. Shall I continue? People in this country are so intense.
The tourists seemed like just another victim circling the drain, but I knew there was more to the story. It was time to circle back and flush out the truth.
Frankie, what do you know?
I was given directions to a confused tourist.
To the museum district?
Yeah, poor fella was wandering around in circles, scaring all the kiddies with his umlauts and...
Don't lie to me, Frankie. I talked to your tourist, and it looks to me like you sent him over to the wrong side of town to get rolled by your rat pack.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But this conversation is over. I ain't saying nothing till I get some legal representation. The nerve of some people, trampling a rat's god...
Do you want a lawyer? Here's an attorney from Smith & Wesson.
Okay, I'll talk. Sheesh. Like you guessed, I gave the tourist directions to the bad side of town, but I was just winding him up, really. Hey, ask me, the schmuck deserved it. Acting all high and mighty and European, wearing his fancy socks. When the big fight broke out, me, the tourist, and the other gorilla ducked down behind the crate, and I, picked their pockets. The tourist was loaded with high-exchange European stuff, but all the other guy had was funny-looking green cubes. After the fight moved on, the tourist got a nice souvenir for his trouble, and I skedaddled back here. And that's all I know, honest. Ask anybody. They'll vouch...
Souvenir?
Yeah, something fell out of the funny hat guy's pocket, and the tourist scooped it up.
What was it?
I don't know, something.
So the tourist didn't leave empty-handed after all.
So what now?
Stick around. I may be back.
I shall count the minutes.
Ooh, a repeat performance.
Let's run through it one more time. And speak slowly. I'm an American.
As I said before, about an hour ago, I was getting directions to the museum district from one of your colorful local rats. You know, back in Europe, I heard so many warnings about your country's rats, but this Frankie was so gracious.
Museum district?
See, yeah, as a child, it's a little more underwhelming than it appeared in my schulbooks. Flugen. I was about to give him a tip for the help when all of a sudden a Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg erupted in the middle of one of your asphalt fjords. At least I think it was Weltraumliebe Wachzauberkrieg. Might have been more of an ödeler Spucken.
Liar!
Nein, nee, it really... After the fight moved on, I discovered that someone had picked my... You know what else? I'm starting to think that this is...
Don't play innocent with me, metric lover. The rat saw you pick up something after the fight. Now spill!
Yeah, it's true. I took a souvenir from the fight. I didn't think anyone would notice. Here.
Norrington? Who the heck is Norrington?
I don't know. Just don't hurt me. You Americans are all animals. Animals.
Finally, a clue. Norrington. The name rang fewer bells than a sleigh in July. Fortunately, it didn't need to. Crimetron, do your stuff. What do you mean not found in database?
The Crimetron requires additional clues to make an informed deduction.
Clues? I haven't got time for clues. Max's body is starting to smell differently.
Then maybe you should stop yelling at my girlfriend and start with the clue-finding.
Grrr. Back! Now where's Skunk Ape?
I don't know. I haven't seen General Skunk Copy since you unjustly imprisoned him in the penal zone. I'll never forget his final terrified howl.
That story ain't gonna wash, Bonzo. Your pal Frankie told me all about how you and he hid from a fight between Skunk Ape and some other guy. Now, make with the lip flapping, and I'd better like what I hear.
It's true. A few of your Earth minutes ago, I was spinning my sign for Frankie the Rat and a tourist when General Skunkape came running down the street, chasing after a strangely garbed man. To my everlasting shame, I cowered behind a crate like a common Venusian bonobo as the General and his prey skirmished. After the General and the stranger fled the scene, I discovered that he had dropped this. I'm surprised he didn't come back for it, but he appeared to be in something of a hurry. Oh well.
Liar!
It's right in front of your face, see?
Okay, so maybe that's not a lie. Give me that toy!
No! I need it to get back in General Skunkape's good graces! Once I return this artifact to the General, he'll forgive my temporary abandonment of his goals and welcome me back to his crew with open arms. Oh, how I've come to miss standing at my General's side.
I thought you were a sign-spinning pacifist now.
I was, but the sight of the General pummeling that stranger rekindled my hours-dormant lust to conquer the galaxy at his side.
Give me that toy!
No! I need it to get... Once I reach... Oh, how I've come to miss standing at...
Huh. You're fooling yourself, kid.
What are you talking about?
The only thing Skunk Ape's gonna welcome you with is a fistful of phasers. You can't go home again. You can't even get on the porch. You've tasted the apple, peed in the pool, bitten the hand that rocks the cradle. You're a sign spinner to him now, and that's all you're ever gonna be.
You're right. It's hopeless. No matter what I do now, I'll never soar through the galaxy at my General's side ever again.
And I hate to tell you, but you're not a very good sign spinner either. I hated to see a grown gorilla cry, so I got in the car and looked for another lost soul to join me as I gazed into the abyss. Last time we saw the rhinoplasty toy, Max's special brain used it to turn into a bazooka. Now it was gonna lead me to the guy who stole that special brain. It wasn't exactly ironic, but I didn't care. Okay, Crimetron, this is your last chance before I start looking for an upgrade. Come on, you obsolete hunk of junk. Talk! Where's Skunk Ape?
Sam, no!
Stop holding out on me!
Get away from her, you brute.
Finally.
Audiences across the country say, you're a monster, Sam.
What have you become?
The Museum of Mostly Natural History, the tarnished jewel of the city's once thriving museum district. Max and I always meant to visit, but we'd never gotten around to it. Now we were finally going to take in its thrilling and dubiously educational displays with a vengeance. All right, Skunk Ape, it's time to pay the piper, plus tax and applicable service fees. Hang tight, little buddy. I should head upstairs where the action is. I'll take a look around after I track down Max's brain. Not now. I've got to find Max's brain.
My superior technological might, necromancer!
Slow it down your simian hindquarters, barbarian!
Skunky. And overweight? He's looking pretty spry for a 120-year-old. And there's the Devil's Toy Box. And is that...
Sam! Get me out of here. This whole place smells like gorilla and patchouli.
The interloper who foiled my scheme to collect the toys of power and re-imprisoned me in the penal zone?
Sam? The great-grandson of the Bodhrun who put the kibosh on my intricate plan to unleash Yog-Sothoth and take over the world?
I hate that guy.
I hate that guy!
Yes, a common enemy. I propose an alliance.
You get the galaxy, I get the Earth?
Agreed!
Nice going, Bubble Brain.
Don't blame me. I'm still trying to find the volume controls on this thing.
Minions, after him!
Sam? Aw, man! Now I'm stuck in here with the alliance of C-list supervillains. It was way more fun when they were fighting. Look at all those cool psychic toys. Am I doing that?
Indeed, yes. Your psychic brain, melded to Monsieur Paperweight's sorcery and my super science, have created a techno-arcanic whirlpool, drawing the toys to this convenient container.
So that explains the giant sucking sound in my head.
No, that's just you.
What's that for?
That controls our new laser light show. It will bring many, many young people to the museum.
If you can lure them away from their zoetropes. Hey you, Fez guy!
What is it?
Pretty grubby joint you got here.
It's one of the finest collections in the world. Our Yog-Sothoth tapestry is one of a kind.
Gee, it'd be a shame if Skunk Ape's minions ripped your tapestry to shreds and used it for space towelettes. You know, accidentally.
Don't even think of such a thing.
What are you and Corporal Buttcheeks here doing with the Devil's Toy Box anyway?
We're unwinding and rewiring the synapses of your brain to cast a blasphemous net of tech necromancy across the reality so that the toys of power may be properly encased within the Devil's Toy Box.
Ah, that's about what I thought.
Really? Repeat what I just said.
Blah, blah, blah. I've got a wonderful brain! Blargy, blargy. More toys for me! Why are you and that big dumb ape, Skunk Ape, working together?
General Skunkapi and I have had a meeting of minds over our mutual loathing of you, your partner, and your forefathers.
So that added up to what? One mind between you?
I just hope his brain-dead minions can dispose of your partner without injuring any of my employees.
How come you haven't aged a day since my great-grandpa kicked your demon-summoning butt back in the olden times?
The horrible secret of my apparent immortality is too terrible to comprehend, and would surely drive an uninitiated mind such as yours to the brink of madness were I to utter it.
So, Pilates then? You're a magical mumbo-jumbo guy, so maybe you can tell me. What's the deal with me having psychic powers all of a sudden? Am I going through the change?
It's difficult to say. The only minds on this plane capable of wielding the toys of power are the insane, the simple, or the defective.
Ah, you've been reading my press, kid.
But encountering two special brains in the same bloodline is practically unheard of. Your lineage is most peculiar and dangerous.
You should see us during holiday cookouts. try and stop your new buddy from zapping Sam with a banana-shaped ray gun or whatever?
Why should I give a hell beast's hangnail about the fate of Sameth's brood?
Well, let me get back to you on that. What are you doing in this 2-bit museum anyway?
Since my defeat at the hands of your meddling ancestors, I've insinuated myself into the archaeological community, painstakingly gathering the requisite toys of power necessary to reopen a doorway between our world and the realm of Yog-Sothoth.
Nerd. All this talking with my brain is making me tired. Let's talk later. Hey, Skunky!
Yes?
I see you've got your old band of lackeys back together.
Yes, yes. My mighty army is once again ready to take on the galaxy. At least they would be if Paperweight's filthy security guard wasn't underfoot. That disease-carrying insect had better keep his pestilent thorax away from my boys.
What are you two scamps doing with the Devil's Toy Box?
We're tapping the nigh-infinite power of your brain to create a bifurcated vortex of technological and arcane energies to impel the toys of power to return to their point of origin via a 5-dimensional matrix of quantum foam and sympathetic magics.
Yes, of course.
You have no idea what I just said, do you?
No, but if it means more psychic toys for me, then vortex away. Why are you working with that creepy Paperweight guy?
Monsieur Paperweight and I have reached an accommodation.
Is that legally permitted in this state?
I'm lending my scientific prowess to his mystical efforts to draw the toys of power into the so-called Devil's Toy Box.
That spell thing Paperweight's working on. It wouldn't have something to do with summoning an elder god by the name of Yog-Sothoth, would it?
Now that you mention it, Yog-Sothoth's name did come up once or twice. He's certainly touchy about that precious tapestry of his.
Yeesh. So, long time no see.
Long time? Yes, yes. If only you knew how long. It has been but a handful of Earth hours since you and your companion imprisoned me in the penal zone. However, due to the temporal phase shifting of the zone, I experienced years of maddening nothingness during those fleeting hours.
Ah, that would explain the tiny crow's feet around the eyes. Not to mention that telltale old gorilla smell. Could you go over there for a while? The way you're salivating over my anterior cortex is creeping me out, frankly.
Very well.
Is that an espresso machine? Because I've always wanted to pour caffeine directly into my brain.
This device is used to maintain the complex matrix of energies between the Devil's Toy Box, your magnificent brain, and Paperweight's chaos magic, and funnel them into the planetarium's crude projector.
Fascinating. Now tell me more about my magnificent brain.
Well, at least I know that Max's brain is still alive and kicking. I'll never get back in there while Skunk Ape and Paperweight are working together. Maybe I can break up those lovebirds from out here. Somehow I doubt they're gonna lure in the jaded thugs of today with laser light shows. Not enough despinings to hold a young person's attention. That's interesting. Holyoke, Massachusetts. If I remember my field guide for otherworldly incursions correctly, that tentacle's a flagellum from the dark dimension. Senseless vandalism.
Hey, you!
Who, me?
Don't get kid with me, wise guy. What are you doing in the museum after dark?
Freelance police.
Freelance police, eh? I heard a lot about you guys. A lot. I'm Sal, museum's security guard. You must be looking into all the freaky shenanigans going on around here tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Well, feel free to poke around. But right now, you gotta do something about this pile of trash.
That's not trash. That's my partner.
Partner, trash, potato, potato. If it's not up and moving in the next few minutes, I'm tossing that smelly lump of guts into the incinerator.
Incinerator? Yeesh. Sal!
Keep it down, will ya? This is a museum, not a locker room.
Don't look now, but there's a scandalously clad intergalactic despot running roughshod through your museum.
You mean General Skunkape? He's an A1 buttwad, all right. But what are you gonna do? Mr. Paperweight's rolled out the red carpet for him and his minions.
Don't you think you should alert the authorities?
What? Lose my job?
How's life with Skunk Ape?
Skunk Ape. That's a good one. I'll have to remember that. Not so bad. Aside from the big gorilla over there guarding the door, most of these apes just hang out in the planetarium.
What's with all the apes running around?
Beats me. Mr. Paperweight told me to steer clear of them. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Would you mind not throwing my little buddy into the museum's incinerator?
What can do, Sam? If Mr. P finds another corpse strewn about all willy-nilly on the exhibit floor, he's gonna kick my thorax right to the unemployment office. You say your friend's still alive? You better get him moving.
Would you mind not throwing my little buddy into...
What can do, Sam?
But he hasn't got a brain.
Well, maybe you should find him a new one. Sheesh, some detective you are.
Any idea what that paperweight loser is doing in the planetarium?
Hey, don't be calling Mr. Paperweight a loser. He's a stand-up guy who took me in and gave me a job.
He's not here, you know.
Nah, I got no idea what that loser's up to. Heck, I can't even understand half the things he tells me over the headphones.
Your boss is gathering demonic toys for a nefarious purpose.
Toys, eh? And what do you want me to do about it?
Call the Army, the Navy, the Swiss Guard.
You want me to turn on my boss? Dream on, buddy. This is a pretty cushy job here, and I ain't messing it up over a bunch of demonic toys.
Sal, why is that name so familiar? Wait a minute. Stinkies used to have a fry cook named Sal.
Yep, that'd be me.
A 6-foot-tall cockroach working at Stinkies? That's shocking. No, wait. What's that thing that's the complete opposite of shocking? So why did Grandpa Stinky fire you? I mean, aside from the whole disease-carrying vermin thing.
He, didn't approve of a cockroach in the kitchen.
That's strange. Grandpa Stinky never had problems with cockroaches before. Nice headphones. Listening to the game? Or maybe some Black Flag?
No, these are my official museum guard emergency headphones. I gotta wear these so that Mr. Paperweight can tell me where to go in case of a security emergency. Of course, I haven't heard from him in a while. He must be busy up there with that space gorilla guy.
See you, Sal.
Be careful out there, Sam. This place is cuckoo tonight.
That fellow reminds me of my great-granduncle Eustachius. Canis erectus. This freakish tooth, dating from the late Flammarian era, is thought to represent an evolutionary dead end of heavyset man-dog hybrids. This night was bad enough, but now my distant ancestors are getting insulted by pasty-faced anthropologists. To witness the final stage of the coming apocalypse, turn the hourglass. Okay. Whoa, I did not see that coming. Toxicodendron paleness, a prehistoric and virulent form of poison ivy, was 7 times as irritating as its modern counterpart. Primitive life forms were often driven into fits of howling, scratching rage by the merest sampling of T. paleness's secretions. It's hard to believe something that pretty could be so annoying.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a telltale trail of Grandpa Stinky's brain-preserving demon broth. Hoyosaurus henway.
Earth Dog Man, where do you think you're going?
I'm, just looking for the snack foods exhibit.
No one leaves here. Skonkape's orders.
Why?
We're supposed to be on the lookout for, Sam. That's it, Sam. Are you Sam?
No, my name is, Tyrone. Sam's that guy.
Tis we! I've arrived at the world-famous Museum of Mostly Natural History. And look, a cute little animatronic monkey.
Mahila to Skonkape, I've successfully neutralized the one known as Sam.
Yes? Describe him.
Pink, hairless, difficult to place accent.
That's not Sam, you fool! Now don't bother me again until you find Sam.
Apparently that, wasn't Sam.
Oh well, happy hunting.
Thank you, Tyrone.
Museum of Mostly Natural History guided tour. Ah, an audio guide that attempts to make sense of the nonsensical museum displays. I should tape one of these for our office. It says it's an information desk, but I feel dumber just looking at it.
Behold, the dread wonder of Yog-Sothoth, overfiend of the dark dimension.
Yeah, I'm glad my great-grandpa stopped that trans-dimensional beauty from manifesting in the East Side. Hey, it's a Moai head. How's it hanging, big guy? Fine, be that way. Inexplicable object of unknown provenance. Coming soon, a brief history of bad ideas in transportation. I hope Max's brain and body are reunited by the time this exhibit opens. He loves tooling around in comically unviable vehicles. Normally, the code of the freelance policeman frowns on stealing ancient brains, but desperate times call for icky measures. Ew, it's warm and pulsing and wriggly. I don't know whether to be repulsed or use it as a neck massager. The 7-sided pyramid of Hickabah was the crowning glory of Kestimpum the Tiny until it collapsed under its staggering weight and unorthodox design. It's dioramas like this that make me appreciate the joys of central air conditioning, collective bargaining, and comfortable headwear. I had no idea ancient Egypt was so madcap. If you're going to putrefy and decompose, you might as well do it in style. Ooh, pointy and dangerous. 2 of my favorite things. Max would love to get his hands on this doohickey. Too bad he doesn't have any hands right now. Hey, it's me. Give or take 4,000 years and a decent tailor. ancient Egyptian brain screw. The engravings on this particular brain screw indicate that it was reserved for pharaohs, viziers, or other high-ranking muckety-mucks. Muckety-mucks? The museum's copywriter must have thought no one would read that far. Please don't touch, play on or around the pharaoh's brain. I question the wisdom of this sign. It's too bad Max's mighty psychic brain isn't here. There's all sorts of new phone numbers on this courtesy phone.
Sorry guys, I am falling a little asleep right now.
I better reunite Max's body with his brain, or a plausible facsimile, before Sal tosses it into an insane... Maybe this carefully preserved gray matter will get Max's body moving, or at least twitching and drooling unnervingly. Hello? Anybody in there?
Torment of Osiris will be laid upon your feet, heretics! The wrath of... Anubis!
Nah, but I get that a lot. I'm Sam.
Oh my! A new body! And it's so energetic!
That's probably one of Max's sugar rushes. You'll just want to ride him out until you get used to him.
Well, I suppose you want some sort of tedious boon in return for rescuing our spirit from the shadowy realms, yes?
Well, if it's not too much trouble, Your Majesty, I could use some help retrieving Max's brain from a couple of world-conquering Nimrods.
I believe we can aid you in your quest, but where will my brain go after we've restored this Max?
Well, if everything goes as planned, I suppose you can take your pick between an ethnic sorcerer and a superpowered space gorilla.
A gorilla? That does sound promising. Very well, we shall grant your boon. It shouldn't be too much trouble with all these toys of the gods secreted in this fuzzy little body.
Toys of the gods? Do you have the gift?
Is that what they're calling it these days? My people always called it the Curse of Horus. Ungrateful wretches.
Neat. If you've got creepy brain powers, this rescue's gonna be a walk in the park. Ready to roll?
Lead on, barbarian.
Welcome to the Museum of Mostly Natural History. My name is Anton Paperweight, and I'll be your narrator on this self-guided tour today. The curious communication devices in this museum look fascinating. Ah, the Arrow of Power. But where's the Disc of Madness? Or the Orb of Unending Bounciness?
We haven't found them yet. But here, take a gander at this.
Ah, the wondrous Essence Thief. How well I remember disguising myself as a palm frond to observe the forbidden rituals at the Temple of Adolescence.
You tyrannical scamp. Hey, Max, check this out. It turns out that Lady Godiva was a dude.
Ooh, icky.
Well, either I managed to return Max's brain to his body in the future, or you're destined to learn a killer Max impression.
Let's move on.
What in the name of Gorgar?
In my experience, it's rarely a good idea to poke a space gorilla in the eyes.
That's what lackeys are for, Sam.
Hey! Ouch! My thorax! My beautiful thorax!
Ouch! Who'd want to pummel a nice bug guy like Sal?
How droll, a talking skull. I'm sure that will be useful.
The Osmunda Kincadium, aka the Boring Fern, possessed no interesting qualities whatsoever.
That looks a little like the ferns our servants use to clean our teeth.
Tapestry of Yog-Sothoth, overfiend of the dank dimensions, on loan from the East Village chapter of the Knights of Yog-Sothoth. He doesn't look so tough. In fact, he looks kind of flammable.
We had Yog-Sothoth worshippers in our time. They kept trying to steal our toys.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm already falling asleep, and I don't want to be falling asleep on you guys, so I'm gonna have to call it a night. Sorry guys, I was doing okay, and then suddenly I was like, okay, I'm falling asleep, and I'm like, oh god, wake up, I'm falling asleep, and wake up. So I'm gonna have to call it a night here, and I'll probably do more streaming tomorrow. We'll see how it goes from there. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy. Have a good night, everybody.